Let's talk Hogan, let's talk right arm. And what we're going to do is going to make sure that we understand what our right arm should be doing when it comes to the backswing position. Because nowadays we have access to so much information that we know range of motion and we know what should be happening from terminology like external rotation, supination, rolling, extension, etc. on the wrist positions. But again, I think what you've got to remember when you're hitting balls is why am I doing it and what am I trying to achieve? So the first thing to understand is that the club shaft, okay, as I hold the club this way, this is basically traveling in a straight line. Okay, so as my club shaft wants to travel in a straight line continuously towards my target, but what happens in the golf swing is because my arms obviously are positioned like so, and the nature of the golf swing is I have to swing my arms to the side of my body. So as the club shaft is trying to travel in a straight line, but my arms are swinging to the side of my body, this creates that sort of term, which is often now known as swing plane. And this is what Hogan obviously noticed very much with his plane of glass type analogy as well. So what needs to happen as we take this club back is we need to obviously try and keep the club shaft traveling very much in a straight line. But what we also want to do is I could keep this club shaft traveling in a straight line by doing this motion here. But the detrimental type of movement this is doing is opening the club face. This is inducing a large amount of arm rotation. And this is why, again, we saw with Hogan, this idea of having a flatter backswing plane was to try and get basically these arms closer to you. If you get your arms more connected to you, what you're effectively doing is you're reducing the amount of arm rotation. And let's pretty much be honest, if you can reduce how much your arms are moving in the swing, particularly from a rotational perspective, then you're going to have a better chance of getting the club face on the back of the ball. So what you're trying to do now, if I remove my right hand for a moment, is I'm basically trying to bring my left arm up and across my chest as tight as possible. And I'm trying to allow the club shaft to travel back in a straight line. Okay, and it's the composition of both of those moves. But inevitably, because if I turn a little bit more, but obviously, because of the fact that my lead shoulder to lead hand is going to be relatively straight, my right arm can't be straight because otherwise it would have this effect on the club. So my right arm starts to bend and it starts to fold because of just the fact that the distance between my right shoulder and hands is closer than the relationship of my hands and my left shoulder. So then the question comes, okay, well, what should you actually be doing, right? What is the intent behind the right arm move? And one of my favorite drills is a prayer drill. And the idea is you position your right hand underneath your left. And you're going to go and make some swings with that idea, like I said to you, straight back, arms connected. And then you let your right arm pull your left arm up to your chest. And that's what your right arm is trying to do. It's trying to pull that left arm close. And that's why when we look at that first move, when the club is parallel, we tend to see that right arm would be folding. So the way it's not straight, it's starting to fold. And then as I swing this club back, the sensation is that I'm going to use my right hand to pull my left arm up across my chest. And that's why I'm not a massive advocate of trying to excessively use your right hand in the backswing to roll, to open the club face, because what I tend to see with golfers who do that is they do get too laid off, or they end up popping this elbow up this way to try and compensate very much for it. So that's how I would go about this. And I think a great way to practice it and for you guys to get the correct feeling in the backswing is to, like I say, do that prayer drill. This is something I do all the time with online students. Keep that head still, take that club, keep the club shaft traveling nice and straight back as you turn. And what you'll start to notice is you'll produce a backswing which will surprisingly look very normal, but you're reducing your arm rotation, you're improving your efficiency in a big, big way. See you soon.